listen.
Never in my life associated the word boring with baseball.
We know what's up.
Me? Yeah. Famous? Yeah.
And I'm like giddy over there smiling like, we're about to win this shit.
Did everyone give you crap? Give me a good host story.
I'm not picking it up.
We both love the game.
We talk about it every day.
Get on baseball.
Having some popcorn, you're fooling around your phone.
I'd have to wait in line for 3 hours.
Hang on, because it's about to be a wild ride.
All right, there's absolutely no human being on the planet I'd rather be talking to right now than Brent Honeywell. I made you choke. I just told you. I just told you, Brent, you're eating. I want you to eat dinner because that's what these things are supposed to be. Just two guys sitting around eating and talking.
Chopping it up.
That's it.
Chopping it up.
I didn't mean for you to choke when I said there's no, but I mean it. I mean it. I always enjoy talking with you. So how are you? Good?
I'm good. Sorry, it took us a little bit to get around to it, but
it's all good.
I like being on your show.
Yeah, listen.
You got a good one.
I've enjoyed our conversations going back to when we first met. And I honestly just love being around you guys last year. That dynamic. And I don't think people really appreciated that, obviously you guys are super talented with the Dodgers, but that bullpen and that pitching set, that dynamic, you can speak to it. This is how baseball teams should be made. This is what they should be prioritized, right? The
Every
personalities, that you guys had such a good combination of people, right?
Yeah. The first thing is you got to be good, dude. You got to be good. You got to be good, and then it all falls into place. There's nothing. When I first got there, I knew nobody, and it was okay. What's the way to get them to like you the quickest? You got to go out and be good once or twice. You got to be good, and then you. I had the last couple of years, having the luxury to share a bullpen with guys like that you can't put it into words, and I learned so much from the game itself, but then I also learned from people, and that was a lot of fun for me. Obviously I like winning the World Series, but I like showing up to work every day, and I think that's the biggest thing you can actually do as a player. You got to like to show up to work every day. And if sometimes the going's getting tough, you got boys at the field that you can hang on, that you can lean on, and even in the bushes, man. Sometimes it's not all fun and games down there like it is in the TV league. And but going to being able to share a bullpen with some of the guys I used to, it's you meet friends, you meet enemies, and then you go and pitch. Then you meet guys like Blake Trinan, and they're just not to me like that guy.
No, man, but that's they're all unique. Obviously. So I want to ask you this before I forget. So you come over the Dodgers in July of last year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, and you had been with a bunch of other teams, but you get dropped into that team. And number one, you said you got to be good. All right. You're on a good team. You got to be good, which you were. But then you dropped into that group of people. You said you didn't know anybody, right?
Nobody.
So what's that like? Who is the first person that sort of comes to you? Do you just sit out there till somebody talks to you? Do you go talk to somebody? When did you feel like you were part of them?
After the game.
Yeah.
Because everybody knew what I was there to do. And it's it's tough to get close to somebody in 3 innings and then watch them walk out the door, but that's sometimes how the business is. And, I think the first person I saw when I got there was Doc.
Yeah.
It was on the bus. It was on the bus going to the field. And I was like, I had nothing to really lose
Yeah.
except, watching me being the baseball rat that I am. I was watching these guys and I watched them blow two leads and they were up like 8 runs in the last 2 days. And I'm like, dude, I'm gonna be in here and go in there and save the day. And it's like these guys got to win. Like if they're wanting to do what they're wanting to do, like they want to win. They want to win these games. These games are close. These games are good. And the Tigers weren't all that bad either. And it's a part of, I guess, kind of like the how I kind of go about it. It's the size up method, dude. Like it's how do you size up to where you're at?
Yeah. Yeah.
And didn't throw for 4 straight days. They called me and said, "Hey, we need you to start." And it's like, okay, I'll start. But I wanted to really tell him, like, listen, if I'm starting, I'm going as long as I can.
Yeah.
If I can go get 5 of them, I'm going to get 5 of them. And I treated it like a true start. You know, I'm a happy-go-lucky guy, but especially when I started, I was on top of my shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was probably a little bit more on top of it as a starter than I was a reliever because now as a reliever, I kind of can just pick and choose who to scout a little bit more than the rest because I'm not going to see some certain guys.
Yeah.
But through there, I was kind of on top of my stuff to where I was making sure I studied hard the night before. But I think the biggest thing is it's a thing going around right now. Like the NBA All-Star game, PK Subban and all these guys, they're talking about, and they're kind of raining on the NBA's parade. Well, you got to show up and play.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody did in that uniform that I was able to share the field with. They showed up to play every day. And if they couldn't go, they were finding a way to go. And if they could go, they were going. And that's something that I kind of pride myself on in the sense of, I've missed so much time before. Why would I say no, I can't throw 3 innings. Or
Yeah.
no, I can't throw 2 innings, or I didn't throw a baseball for 4 days until I showed up out there. And but I knew we wanted to win the baseball game. I knew those guys. I walked in there and I felt like these dudes want to win this game, especially after what happened the night before. Like they want to win this game.
What did you feel like? Obviously, flash forward, you're like a playoff hero. Like I'm not like legit. So, but when did you feel like you were part of that thing that they were like the World Series aspirations? When did you feel like part of it last year?
That's a good question because I haven't really even thought about that. I would probably say the Philly game
Yeah.
because baseball works in funny ways. The last time I faced the Phillies was the same thing. Somebody walked off the mound and I had to go get loose in front of those guys.
Yeah.
And it was a crazy thing. And I was like, you know what? Either the same thing's going to happen where I go out and I get shellacked and then I don't see the field with this team again, or I kind of make a statement and say, listen, like when they brought me back after they sent me down,
Yeah.
after they cut me, when they brought me back, I kind of felt like I was a part of it there too, because they were kind of straight up with me.
Yeah.
Um, and after the game, after the Philly game was probably, I wasted myself out there 70 pitches against those guys and gave up my first homer of the year in the big leagues and was like, what can I do?
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
We gotta have arms, and that's fun and all, and it's great and everything, but that shit sucks.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
It sucks, but it made me a part of their club, and evidently they thought I was the best one that could do that part for the club, and but there's just some. That's just the way it goes sometimes, and I think you get a little bit of a I think you get a little bit of a pride thing after you win the World Series. So
Yeah, oh yeah, listen. I mean, like I said, you're a hero, man. Like, n-
I think those guys are heroes, man. I just did what was asked.
yeah, but still, Brent, like I get it. Like I get that. Everyone is a hero, and that's how you win a World Series. Like
Yeah,
there's different people do different things. What Blake Trinan did was a heroic thing, in
that
baseball
was that
terms,
was that
right?
was that was big nuts, dude. That
Yeah,
was crazy.
right. I mean, but
Yeah.
this is. I'll come back to my original thing, which is like that being around that group of guys, Trinan and Brazier and you and like all these guys like Gratterall or Joe or whoever. Like
Even
they're
when Joe wasn't pitching, I learned so much from Joe.
yeah.
And people always ask me, who was your who was your guy over there? And I'm like, Joe, man, the Sharks never sleep, dude. Sharks never sleep. And and it's what can I learn from him? Like what can I and he's different in a sense than kind of everyone else is. Like Joe's got some of the biggest stuff I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Like put my own eyes on. And it's like, okay, well, there's got to be a brain that goes with that. There has to be. And when he's sitting down in his vans in the bullpen, and we're sitting there shooting the shit, talking, and I'm like, "What do you got here?" And we'll just be going back and forth talking about what to throw him, what's he gonna throw him. I should hit him with a hezzy. That's Joe's thing, and I'm like, dude, I don't even think about any of that. Like that's just something like, I got a lot of stuff in my pockets, but a hezzy, I don't know if that's one of them. And Joe's like, he needs to hit him with a hezzy. And I'm like, oh God, Joe, I don't have that one. But it was, man, every day I think about it every day. I miss those guys every day. I see people putting on uniforms now during spring. It kind of pisses me off, but it's
Well,
what it is.
this is where listen. This is what we're here to do, man. Like this is I'm here to remind everybody what what you are not only as a good pitcher, okay? All right. You've proven that. You've proven that on the biggest stage. And also you've proven not only to be a good pitcher is one thing. To do it when it counts the most is another. That should be a value. To talk about what you've talked about being a baseball rat, being all of this. I am here to tell the baseball world or to remind the baseball world like this is the guy that you want. This is the guy. You, right? You. And
They
so
want, hey, they want punch outs and they want 100 miles an hour. That's what people want because you know what? I told you before we started this thing. The phone always rings for Honey, man.
yeah, that's right.
Always.
Yeah.
When the shit hits the fan, they call me. Why? Because they know that I can do it. And the other thing is that for some reason people just think I like doing the jobs that people hate to do. And it's like nobody really wants to do that. And if they're telling you the truth, if they're lying if they don't tell you that they don't. It's one of the hardest jobs to do. Everybody's job is hard up there, but being a long relief guy, pretty expendable,
Yeah.
is what they think.
Well, but here's the thing. This is how old are you? 29, 20, 29?
Yeah, 29.
Yeah, 29. So this is the thing is that I don't care about analytics. I don't care about throwing 100. I don't care about that. A, I know you can get guys out. B, I also like your journey and like the things that you learned. You're a young man, right? So for 29 years old, you have gone through a lot of stuff, like a lot of stuff. And starting with we talked about this last year, I think, we found the picture of you and Flaherty and Kopech,
Oh yeah,
winning the MVP for the Futures game, right?
yeah.
And about that life that you lived, and then living the life of to go to what you did in the playoffs of being that guy who saved a pitching staff. And by the way, you can't save a pitching staff without being good, without having good stuff, without having the balls to go out there to be on that stage and everything else. All I'm saying is that, like, all of this.
I could have very well walked out there in New York and fired off, you know, 2/3 of an inning and gotten whacked.
Yeah.
And people don't understand that. And it's like, I just faced him 3 times. I faced him for 3 innings 2 days prior. And yeah, I got touched up there a little bit. They were hitting the ball hard around the yard. But I threw 3 innings in the playoffs 2 games before that, my first playoff appearance. And then I come out against the same team in 2 days and fire off 4 2/3 against them. Out of the pen. And it's like, when the shit hits the fan, they always call honey, Rob. They always do. They always do. But like I said, I'd never traded in for nothing, but it gets old every now and then because hey, I'll tell you this though, funny story. So last year I'm walking off the field and I knew where we were at in the bullpen. And I'm walking off the field during catch play and I look at McGinnis and I said, "Hey, I got the ninth today." Against my old manager and the old coaching staff with the Giants.
Yeah.
Bo Mel and those guys. And I said, "I have the ninth today." I had the ninth. And gave up a knock. That's when Ahmed hit the home run and take us ahead by 2. And give up a knock, get a double play, and punch the out for my first save. And as much as the league, not the people, because the people love me.
Yeah.
As much as the league doesn't think I can do that, or that I can throw 1 inning, I'm 1 for 1 in saves and save opportunities.
Last time I checked, that's perfect.
That's perfect. Some say the best in the league.
I mean, it's honestly, it's a Major League Baseball record. So
yeah, I mean, and it was my second year in the bullpen this year, which is like, you learn what you're doing out there sometimes. Like I had to make the transition from a starter to a bullpen guy, and then kind of to like a swingman role and stuff like that, and kind of swung like I did last year. But it's like I don't throw pus, and I can get you out. If I need to get 3 outs, I'll get 3 outs.
Right. And like you said, the other thing is you got 3 outs against the best team on the biggest stage multiple times. Multiple times.
The last 3 outs were the hardest to get.
And you're healthy. You're good. Everything's good.
Doing all right.
Okay. All right.
Doing all right.
All right.
We're hey, I mean, what am I throwing for? Is my biggest question.
Is that hard? I mean, is that hard to keep going?
No, it's not hard to keep going. It's just like I ain't into working for free, man.
Yeah.
Like I love baseball. I'm in Texas right now, and I've been going back and forth from Arlington and back here watching this college little round robin they run down here at Globe Life. So I've seen TCU, Michigan, and all these guys play. I'm walking around, and I'm just like, dude, what am I doing here? What am I doing here? But I think it was, this year was one of the times where, I think a lot of people think they deserve a major league deal.
Yeah.
But I thought I deserved a major league deal.
Yeah.
So I'll wait.
Yeah.
I've done it my whole life. So, I mean, I was the only free agent on the market who won the World Series last year. I don't know if people forgot, but,
is that true?
Yeah, I think so.
All right. That's pretty good.
That finish there. I mean, when they DFA'd Brazier, made him one, the Cubs picked him up. I guess Jay Hay. But, I think it'll all line itself up.
Yeah. Well,
but now it just gives me a little bit of time to work on something I haven't had in a while. Maybe I'll come back with something new.
Yeah. Well, listen, you already throw a pitch that nobody else throws. What are you going to throw? A one-fingered shit kicker?
I mean, dude, if I could throw it, I'm going to throw that one. Try
it. So going through that, I mean, the feeling, I remember seeing you on the field. It was so cool with your family and just people and knowing that you were such a huge part of that. Did it hit like you thought it would?
Yeah, it did. It did. Because I there's a couple things that I told myself I would do and that I couldn't forget to do them because when Walker punched him out, I looked right over like I'm not moving, I'm not standing up, not doing nothing until the third out's over with, and then I'll get up and move. And I look over at Joe. Joe gets up with two strikes, and he walks over to the bullpen door. And I'm like, man, this guy's a savage, dude. He just knows. He knows. And I looked over and punched him out, and Joe's waving me. He's like, come on, come on. Well, running across an empty field was one thing I really wanted to remember, where in their own backyard, and I'll tell you this, they weren't the best team. On paper, they weren't the best team, and can't say it with a straight face. They were not the best team. We were the best team. We were the better team. I said it the whole time, Dodgers in 4. I was cranking that out in the clubhouse, Dodgers in 4, Dodgers in 4, Dodgers in 4. Maybe if I don't give up 12, maybe there's a chance. But they weren't the best team.
Well, have you been following the Joes back and forth?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's not wrong.
Of course he's not wrong.
No.
You got beat.
No.
Not only that, you got beat because it was little things that you didn't do. You didn't do the baseball things. You did all the analytic stuff, right? You just didn't play baseball.
Yeah.
That's what it takes.
Yeah, I mean, and even like that was the underlying thing when Joe first. So he came on the podcast right after. He mentioned the Fat Joe curse, which was great.
I mean, for Fat Joe, dude.
Oh, for Fat Joe. and then he just mentions, hey, they start playing Yankee baseball. And then Brent, a week later, I follow up with him, and he just doubles down on it because it was just a scouting.
Well, see, that's Joe though. Joe's just talking ball, man. Like we were talking about all that in the bullpen, all of that.
Yeah, it's a scouting report. It was a scouting.
Joe, listen, right? Joe knows. Joe now has 3 of them.
Yeah.
Joe knows.
Yeah, and then even Kopech came on and had said the thing about you counting Rizzo mound visits. That was good.
That was like, listen, the dogs down there in the bullpen, man. There can't be another crew like it. They were the best in the league in 2024. Best in the league.
That's what I mean. Brett, that's what I come back to, man. Like that's what I come back to is that when I was around you guys, I'm like, I think that bullpen should be modeled after what you guys were because you each did something different.
Oh yeah.
Right? We
each did something different, but we knew what the other guy did.
Yes. And also the mentality of, hey, you know what?
Before the phone rang, we knew the situations before the phones rang.
Yep.
Every time.
Yep. And so instead, I think that there's a lot of bullpens being built right now off of, well, we're going to throw a lot of shit. No, this is wrong. We're going to throw a lot of stuff against the wall, right? We're going to find a lot of guys we like their analytics, and that's fine. You can do that. But at the end of the day, you have to know the guys who are going to be, when the rubber hits the road, know how to get outs at the big moment and know their roles and know how to handle that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's knowing, when it got down to it, like in the playoffs, like the scouting report was kind of out the window. And I think the scouting report was out the window for everybody. And it was a matter of, we as a team are executing at a clip higher than anybody can execute, whether it's hitting the fastball in the zone on the offensive side, whether it's striking the hook, striking off-speed stuff before, running something up and in at someone. Like everybody was on the same page, same words, same line, same everything. And I think one day, I'm telling you, it taught me because one day, hopefully I get to have another one of those. I get to be a part of another one of those and do it coaching too. I learned a lot over there I learned a lot, man. I learned a lot. And
probably like shit that you never thought. like you learned a lot throughout your life, right? All
Yeah,
the
but you
experience.
also
But
you
until
also
you get to
see
that moment, until you get to that, those are lessons that, as you found out, man, like you
because
can't learn like
when my
stuff
dad
through it.
was coaching, my dad taught me a lot about coaching,
Hmm.
and I know for a fact he's one of the best coaches in the state of Georgia. Like we went to the playoffs every year I was there. Every year with a team that never went to the playoffs ever.
Yeah.
And it was, how do you it's coaching, and I say this all the time. I talk to especially like some of my friends at home. It's like that staff over there, Doc and those guys, like it's why I'm really excited for Clayton McCullough
Yeah.
because he coaches. And I like that because there's a lot of places where you go and you don't see like they're not it's not coaching.
Yeah.
It's like, yo, dude, that guy's struggling. He needs a little bit of coaching.
Yeah.
Are you gonna make us do it? You don't want us to do it.
Yeah.
But it's like, it needs a little bit of coaching and it's always coaching, whether it's Dino with ground balls or, Petey smoking fungo at somebody with Dino out there watching close. And it's like watching Kike work over there with Dino.
Yeah.
That's good stuff to me because it's like, yo, both of these guys really give a shit for one.
Yeah.
For two, there's some coaching going on. How to play the outfield, how to run the bags. Like it's more than just like, hey, just go on the field and cut the bases and hit a double. Like it's a lot more than that. And it's a well-oiled machine over there. And I think kind of what I was getting to was that like I knew that was out there. Like I knew that was out there and I was happy to be a part of that. Now I will tell you this, Tampa in the minor leagues,
Hmm.
that's how it is. It was.
Yeah.
Like we got coached there and I was a part of several championship teams there.
Yeah. Yeah.
And we got coached there and guys like getting coached there and they turn into really solid players.
Isn't it amazing? Isn't it amazing that you have this Dodgers team that, okay, you have Shohei and Freeman and Mookie and all these guys, right? But what you're talking about, and this is the difference, and this ultimately was the difference in the World Series, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, it helps that you have those stars. There's no doubt about it. To get through a top of the lineup like that. Hey, listen, that's really important.
So how
But
do you so the next thing is like everybody this offseason is doing what every casual is doing, sitting at home. How's our team gonna beat the Dodgers? That's what people are doing right now.
yeah,
That's what they're doing. How are they gonna beat the Dodgers?
yeah. But you know
Yeah.
what?
Play better baseball.
But that's the point. Is
The
that
point.
is that you just went up, you just talked about the coaching and the attention to detail. And this is almost
Like
like for
that goes
the
from everyone. Like from Freddie to Miggy Rowe. Like Miggy Rowe talks a lot about the little things.
yeah,
Miggy Rowe, and he does the little things really well.
yeah,
And it's until taking the extra base or until making a dirt ball read or until getting a good jump somewhere is like second nature and like the first priority. Like, because I try not to give up the real run, the real one.
yeah,
I don't want to give up the home run. I don't want to give up two back-to-back doubles in the gap either. I don't want to give up the real run. I don't care how hard you hit the ball. I don't care if I punch you out. I don't care. Guess what? I will get you out. And that to me is kind of playing baseball.
yeah.
Like
But
if I need a double play, keeping the ball on the ground or getting them to pop the ball up on the infield. They really hate that. They really hate popping it up on the infield. But I try not to give up the real run because at the end of the year, I want to look up somewhere and be like, you know what? I didn't give up the real run in a real game, which was I fired off a 2-6 in the second half of the year this year.
yeah,
I had a blast doing that. But the thing is I didn't give up the home run. and I didn't give up the real run. It's like
Yeah.
I'll do anything for that guy to stay at third base and second base, and I learned how to do that this year.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
people are like, "Oh, shit, everybody gets lucky every now and then." He got news for you.
Hey, you do it enough. It's you do it enough, and you do it on that.
It's just little things. It's that focus level of how do I get this guy out now? Like what? How do I get this guy out to make the whole entire game situation better? What do I need to do to save the game? What do I need to do to prolong the game? Like what do I need to do to get us back to, I don't know, one of those 12 Hall of Famers that are coming up in the first 5 at bats? I don't know. It's just baseball. I got a baseball mind. I'll always think baseball,
I
and
love it. I love it.
baseball's first in my life, man. Family,
Yeah, I love
big
it.
man upstairs, and some
Yeah,
ball, dude.
I love it. It's so good, and this is why this is why we're putting our full baseballs and boring weight behind. The Godfather of the LLC, the chairman of the board, demands it. Joe. All right. So we're by the way, real quick before I'm going to ask you at the end
Okay.
to look into the camera, and I'm the GM of a team, and I'm going to ask you to say, you give me your elevator pitch for Brent Honeywell. All right. Before I do that, just put
Okay.
that
Give you your what?
elevator pitch. Like tell me why you should why in a
Oh, why?
why
Okay.
they should sign you. All right.
Okay.
So
Okay.
this is like,
It's easy.
yeah, okay. All right. Before we do that, parade was good.
Parade was sick.
I mean,
Dude.
except for Ryan Madsen's wife, who got.
Oh yeah, no good.
I mean, no,
But-
I said Ryan Madsen. I'm sorry, Daniel Hudson. Sorry.
Yeah. It was great, man. Like it was great seeing everybody out there, but the biggest thing is I love the game of baseball. And those people out there too, they love baseball, man. They
Yeah.
love their Dodgers. And I loved putting that uniform on. And dude, it can go as simple as this, man. You get picked up by the Dodgers and you put on this crispy ass gray white jersey that's got Dodgers written across the front of it and your number down low, like it's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing. But I do it at every place I go to.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hold on. I don't want you to give the pitch yet. So, the other thing, did you see the Mr. Cartoon? How Joe and I went to Mr. Cartoon?
Yeah, let me see. You got one?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Hold on.
I still got to get with him. I told him I was. Oh, dude, that is a good one.
Yeah. So Mr.
Yes.
Cartoon, like he got the mask for you guys,
Yeah,
right? And
I gotta go out. I'm getting one done. I'm getting into doing of the World Series.
well, if you want to throw in a baseballs and boring in there too,
All right,
we're not going to
That's
say
it.
no.
part
Hey.
of it.
He's obviously Mr. Cartoon is a big Dodgers guy. I can tell you, Brent, when Joe got out of that chair, I saw him after the World Series and he was happy.
Yeah.
When he got out of that chair, he was next level happy. He was coming out of his skin. He was like, "This is Mr. Cartoon just gave me a tattoo."
Yeah, that was. I got to get one done by him.
Oh,
We talked about it, but
he's a Dodgers
Okay, man.
guy. Listen.
I got some time on my hands now.
It was just a good time, man. It was just a good time. But all right, here we go. Ready? Come in. I'm faceless, nameless.
Are you sure? Hey, you're sure you want the real one here?
Yeah.
All right, because
All
I get a
right,
bad.
ready?
Hey,
Hold on.
I get a bad rap with those guys, dude. I get a bad rap.
Who with the GMs?
Oh yeah, I get a bad rap.
Well, I don't care. Like we're gonna workshop this, right?
Okay.
Because this is the whole goal. I want you by this time next week in Florida or Arizona.
Yeah.
All right? Right? Yes?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Come on in. Sit down. Nice to see you, Brent. Why should we sign you?
Is your bullpen any good?
It could always be better.
Okay. Well, I'm sitting right in front of you. It's like what do you want? What do you need? Do you want a guy who's going to go out there and pitch and is going to post, or do you want someone that you can only fire in a couple situations and sometimes thank your lucky stars? Like what do you want?
I want
You know,
someone to help us win a World Series.
I've done that already one time, so I have that.
By the way, I'm teeing you up for this.
I don't know. I'm not analytic. I'm not a stat rat. I'm an out getter. You pay me to get outs. Like I don't care how hard they hit it. I got dudes playing out behind me that have played there for the last 125 years. I gotta do my job just like everybody's gotta do their job around me. So like whatever. You want me to punch guys out? Okay, that's fine. Give me one inning of work. You want me not to punch guys out? Okay, give me the dog shit work. Give me a start every now and then. Like, you want me part of your pen or not? Because if not, that's cool. See you later.
I'll tell you what. You know what? You sold me. Here's the thing you lean into. I'm an out getter.
Out getter.
I'm gonna make the t-shirts. I'm an out getter. Dash Brent Honeywell.
One of the best.
One of the best. I like that. I'm out getter. That's what it is. Because you know what? And anybody through all the edgetronics and trackmans and everything else, ultimately, it's getting the outs.
Oh, I forgot to tell you. I have good stuff on TrackMan. Everybody's got good stuff on TrackMan now.
Yeah. All right. Well,
everybody does.
That doesn't hurt. That doesn't hurt. All right. You're hired. Congratulations. No.
Hey, so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What's the automatic ball and strike zone been like?
Ooh, I just did that today.
How was it?
I'm not gonna lie to you. It wasn't bad because it's only a couple times.
Well, here's the thing. And I said this would happen. These umpires and these boxes baseball went south. It took a hit when they put the box on the screen.
Yeah. Well, that's what they did. That's what they do here.
So when I'm saying like
on
when you watch
TV and stuff.
Yeah, the K zone.
Yeah.
So when they started putting that thing up, like that thing's not right.
Yeah.
That thing's never right. And these umpires, they're better than people give them credit for. And listen, I'm not playing a certain side here because I'm a player first. And I'll always be on the player side. All I want is strikes to be strikes and balls to be balls. And another thing I don't think what people understand is that this zone, how it was being used in the minor leagues and in the bushes, is like I want to say, now don't quote me on this, but I'll just say this. There was a certain amount of at bats that it would take the average of, and that thing would move to the person.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, we'll use Shohei, for example. Like if he changes, he stands upright, he's a big dude, he's a tall dude, and if he ever changes his batting stance, his like first 20 swings he's going to take in this new batting stance will be affected. Like it'll be the old zone.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So it's like, how do you know where it's at?
Well, so what I saw today, I was doing the broadcast today. It was the first time I saw it. So I think there was about 3 or 4 challenges.
Were they right or wrong?
They were actually, so it depends, so it depends who challenges. I think that, so what was interesting was that, say the catcher challenged a ball or a strike, and it was a ball, or a ball was a strike. They step out, and then what I liked about it, Brent, is that up on the Jumbotron, on the enormous screen, they show it, and so this isn't like the NFL where, oh, well, you have a replay,
you got a challenge.
They'll announce it, and you just have to take their word for it. It's there, right?
Right.
And so it's there, and there's this anticipation in the stands, and it was quick. So there's anticipation in this.
The closest thing to it is tennis when they use Hawkeye in tennis.
Yeah, exactly. So there was, for the fans' perspective, it was like, again, it was only 3 times, but there was this anticipation of like, oh, and all of them were, I mean, they were close, like,
oh yeah,
super close. So, yeah, so I don't mind it because it was only 3 or 4 times, but I hear what you're saying about you
like,
better make sure you have the strike zone right.
Yeah, like all of it's going to change. I mean, they took away the top half of the zone. Like they even went as far as messing with it in the minor leagues where they made this thing this shape.
Really?
There was no edges. There was like none. They took away the top. Like you're like, it's like, what do you? And I'm watching these games during spring training. Like I go work out, get all my stuff done, and then I'll go and shoot pool all day. And I'll have all the spring trainings up on TVs in there, and I'm looking and I'm seeing these guys. And obviously, the spring training cameras are not in-game cameras;
Right.
they're all low. They're all low and to the side, and
Yeah,
it looks like you just throw meatball. You got to throw meatballs in there, and I'm like, dude, these guys are getting whacked out here, and it's just like he's throwing it into a coffee can. But I mean,
yeah,
me personally, people
yeah.
like it because it's technology for one,
Yeah.
and 2. Let me tell you how good these hitters are going to get at this.
Yeah.
They are going to get extremely good against strike to ball calls.
Well, the hard,
even more so than catchers probably.
but you can't, for the pitchers, it's almost impossible because when you're pitching, right, you're not, you don't have that straight. You're like, your pitch, you fall a little bit. Also, you threw the pitch. So you're like, your mind is like,
yeah, you gotta separate right. A little bit.
And that's why, yeah, that makes it tough.
So there is definitely strategy to it, but I mean, strikes are strikes and balls are balls. Dude,
Hey,
oh my God. Speaking of ABS, I threw one right down the middle last year. That got balled.
Really?
And I got ejected for it.
You did?
I got thrown out.
You argued the ABS?
Yeah, hell yeah. I think it was right down the middle. And he goes, nothing happened. And I go, what do you mean nothing happened? Have you never seen a pitch from behind home plate or what? Call a fucking strike.
Which, by the way, you may have been the first person and maybe the only person who got ejected for arguing the ABS.
Dude, and then I got in trouble for throwing at someone.
Well, listen, do what you got to do.
Slipped.
Hey, remember, you're an out-getter.
Out-getter.
Yeah.
I've been an out-getter ever since I was this tall.